So if you're using Gemini 3 Pro right now, just like a normal Google search,
Right, just typing in a basic question.
yeah, and waiting for that static answer, you are engaging with maybe, what, 10% of its real power? You are barely scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. It's the evolution of the tool that people are missing. The model has moved so far beyond, simple chat.
And the most powerful features, the ones that save the most time, they're often buried.
They are. They're hidden in settings menus, or they need specific triggers, or they're in these separate toolkits that, most people just completely overlook.
And that's exactly the gap we're here to close. We took a deep dive into this exhaustive analysis that uncovered 7 of these amazing, often ignored features.
And these features really do transform the tool. It stops being just a chatbot.
It becomes this sophisticated workflow and even a software generation powerhouse. Our whole mission today is to give you that shortcut, that operational intelligence to use these secrets.
For anyone who wants to learn fast but still demands a thorough understanding, this is where you'll get those aha moments you need to unlock the AI's full potential.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with the feature that's pretty much hiding in plain sight.
Feature number 1 is called the Storybook Gym. And it gets ignored because, well, the name's a bit whimsical.
Right. You hear Storybook Gym and you immediately think it's for, what, creative writing? For kids.
Exactly. But that assumption is completely wrong. It's actually a really robust tool designed for seeing and understanding difficult, dense documents.
So how does that work? How do you make, say, a 32-page technical manual easy to understand?
The Storybook Gym takes that long, boring text and turns it into a visual slideshow.
A slideshow. Okay, so it's not just summarizing.
No, the mechanism is what's brilliant. The AI analyzes the document, breaks the complex ideas into these simple bite-sized sections.
Okay.
And for each scene, it generates a short summary and a picture description to go with it.
So for you, the learner, that application is perfect. You're creating instant study notes.
Or video script ideas. It just makes these overwhelming documents easy to read and, visually engaging. It turns passive reading into active learning.
That's a huge differentiator. Okay, so if the Storybook Gym solves dense text, the next big problem is video.
The saturation of video content for sure.
Which brings us to our second feature, which is all about pure efficiency. The built-in YouTube tool.
This is a tool I suspect most people will end up using every single day. We all have that problem, right? An hour-and-a-half long technical lecture.
On quantum computing or something, yeah. And you just don't have the time.
Exactly. You just paste in the video link and you ask Gemini to summarize the content structure.
And the key thing here, the aha moment, is that it doesn't just transcribe it.
No, it's not just a wall of text. It processes the video structure. It looks at the chapter markers, the transitions.
It even looks at visual cues on the screen to understand the logic.
Precisely. And by doing that, it turns that 90-minute video into a structured, navigable roadmap.
So for that quantum computing example, it perfectly sorted everything.
Yep. It put the math basics at the start and the complex stuff, like Shor's algorithm at the end. And crucially, it gives you exact timestamps for every single concept.
So you're not just scrubbing through a timeline anymore, hoping to find the right spot.
You have an interactive index. It's like having a teaching assistant who's already watched the lecture and organized all the notes for you.
That level of efficiency is transformative. The time you save across a week of research must be immense.
It really is.
Okay, let's move into actual practical work. We've optimized how we consume content, but what about how we work? That requires deep integration.
And that's where feature number 3 comes in, the hidden workspace extensions.
This is the one that the research showed almost no one knows about.
It's staggering. Something like 90% of people have no idea this exists, and that's because it's an opt-in setting that's, well, kind of buried.
So for you, the listener, the setup is key. You have to go to the bottom left, click Settings, then Apps, and you have to make sure that Google Workspace toggle is switched on.
And once you do that, you've unlocked Gemini's ability to leave the chat box and securely interact with your own personal files.
And the trigger for that is just the @ symbol.
It's that simple. You just tag @Gmail or a Google Calendar in your prompt.
The first question that comes to my mind is privacy, though. If I tag @Gmail, is it looking at everything?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But the system is designed to only access the data it needs for that one specific request you just made. It's not constantly scanning your inbox.
Okay, that's a critical distinction.
It is. It's waiting for that trigger.
So once you're comfortable with that, the applications are immediate. I can tag it Gmail and ask it to find urgent policy warnings.
Or summarize a long thread about AdSense payments from the last 3 months.
And it just pulls that information right into the chat. That saves hours of scrolling.
And it's not just for searching. You can tag it Google Calendar and say, schedule a meeting with John for Q1 2025, and it does it.
And it shows up in your actual calendar app, perfectly synced.
Mm-hmm. This is what pushes AI out of just abstract chat and into full workflow management.
And this is where we pivot. We're moving from consumption and integration to actual creation, starting with feature 4, build your ideas.
And this isn't about writing text. This is about generating working software.
Which is a fundamental shift.
It really is. For years, AI generated text or images. This feature, which you find in a separate environment called AI Studio, lets the AI generate functional software, the code, the interface, everything.
All from a plain English description.
It's just from a description.
Let's break down the example from the research because the level of detail it handled is just astonishing.
They're pretty wild.
The prompt was to build a single HTML file for a responsive crypto portfolio tracker, a modern dark theme.
And it had a bunch of specific demands. Users had to be able to add assets, see a live dashboard, total value, profit loss.
And it even specified using a particular JavaScript library, Chart.js, for the visuals.
Let's pause on that. Mentioning Chart.js is so important. That's a specific professional library. The AI didn't just write generic code. It chose and implemented the correct technical tool for the job.
And the result was a working web app. Instantly.
Right. You could add a fake asset like Dogcoin, and the dashboard would update in real time. The pie chart would shift.
It even generated something called an AI strategist card that analyzed the risk of the meme coins.
The fidelity of the output was just insane. It wasn't a mock-up, it was functional code. And the final test was responsiveness.
It worked perfectly on desktop and mobile.
It stacked perfectly. That is a task that would take a mid-level developer hours, and it did it in minutes.
Which raises some pretty big questions about the future of development. But before we get into that, let's talk about efficiency in pure research with feature 5, the deep research tool.
You find this one by clicking the Tools button in Gemini. And it's arguably the main reason this model is leading the market right now.
Its ability to extract clear, verified facts from a ton of sources incredibly fast. The test they ran was pretty demanding. They gave it a list of 60 different cars.
And for every single car, the AI had to find 5 pieces of technical data from official service manuals.
The engine code, the specific oil type, oil capacity, gearbox oil, brake fluid.
Imagine doing that manually. That's 3 or 4 hours of just grueling Google searches, reading PDFs.
And the AI did it all in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Reading dozens of websites, checking facts as it went.
And this is the part that makes it trustworthy. The verification. Every single data point in that huge table it created
Had a link attached.
a verifiable link. You can click right through to the official source and check the fact yourself.
Exactly. This means the knowledge you're getting isn't just fast, it's demonstrably trustworthy. You can build professional reports with real confidence.
Okay, now we're moving into cutting-edge content creation. Feature 6 takes us into that special playground for developers, Google AI Studio for audio generation.
Right, AI Studio is where the more experimental tools live, and the text-to-speech tool in there is genuinely next generation.
In what way?
If you use the single speaker mode and pick a style, like professional YouTuber, the audio it generates has these tiny human details. Small pauses, even breathing sounds. It sounds like a real person, not a robot.
That's incredible. But what about the multi-speaker mode?
That's where it gets really useful. You can assign names and different voices to sections of text. So you can edit the script for each speaker, and it processes it into a conversation.
So you could have 2 distinct voices debating something.
Yeah, they showed it generating a conversation about a chore list with perfectly assigned dialogue and realistic intonation. It's miles better than just a flat reading.
The practical uses are huge. You could use it to proofread your own writing by listening to it.
Or turn long articles into audio for your commute. The flexibility is just unparalleled.
And that brings us to the final feature, number 7, video generation with VEO 3.1.
Google has finally put their best video tool directly into the main Gemini interface.
You find it under the Tools icon, select Create Videos. Simple as that.
And like any generative tool, the quality is all in the prompt. The instructions are the blueprint.
The example they used was really complex. They asked for a looping video of a futuristic gaming desk.
And they specified everything. A mechanical keyboard with pulsing RGB lights, a translucent holographic display.
Even a specific can of energy drink on the desk.
And then they layered on the effects. A slow breathing light, floating data particles, and this very specific neon blue and violet lighting.
And it takes about 60 to 90 seconds to generate, but the reason for that time is the key, isn't it?
It is. The why behind it is that it's creating every single pixel from scratch. This isn't a search engine finding a video. It's a simulation. It's calculating light, motion, and reflections based on your words.
And the result was stunning. The camera movement was smooth, the lighting was realistic.
And because the prompt asked for a loop, the rotating hologram ensured it was a perfect, seamless clip.
The immediate use for that is for things like website backgrounds to make them feel alive.
Or for social media ads, where custom video gets way more attention than stock photos.
So when we look back at all 7 of these secrets, the central finding of this deep dive is crystal clear. You are no longer just using AI to answer a question.
Absolutely. The moment you unlock these hidden features, you transform your entire interaction with this technology. You're building sophisticated research agents that verify their own facts.
You're generating working software from plain English.
And you're automating huge parts of your professional workflow.
The key to staying ahead in this landscape, which is evolving so fast, is leveraging these specific advanced capabilities. It's about moving from being a consumer of AI to a director of it.
Which leads us to our final provocative question for you to think about this week. Given that Gemini can now generate functional software, like that crypto tracker, in just a few minutes,
What complex, repetitive task that's taking up your time right now could you describe in plain English for the AI to build for you by the end of the day? Think about that transformation.